absolute great value, and it works just as good as the overpriced Nissan NS2. I purchased 13 quarts, and I did a complete flush. I'm also able to service my CVT every 30k miles instead of waiting longer. I was quoted about $359 for a flush at a Nissan dealership. Outrageous! My first flush was done at 64k miles on a Murano. I spent less than $100 by purchasing this fluid and other tools necessary for a flush. I purchased a case of this for my 2014 Infiniti QX60 based on all the positive reviews for Nissan's infamous CVT. At 120,000 miles, I have never had the transmission serviced. The dealership ran the codes at the last oil change and said it was showing shuddering/slipping codes, typically indicative of an imminent failure. $7,500 was quoted to replace the transmission. It certainly wasn't as smooth as it had been when newer, but I wasn't about to spend that for a transmission, even if it had an actual catastrophic failure. I followed some of the YouTube tutorials, heated the transmission to 113 degrees and drained out 5 quarts, that's all that drained out. I added 4 quarts, ran it to 113 degrees again and drained the upper plug until it drizzled. After a few days, it was running smoother, and the shudder it had developed at around 15 to 20 miles per hour had decreased. I took the remaining 2 quarts and slowly added more, bit by bit, heated the trim to 113, and drained the excess from the upper plug. The fluid was dirty again each time, but at least I got 6 new quarts into the transmission. Now, after 1 week, the transmission is incredibly smoother. No shudder, no hunting, no slipping and much quieter. I'm quite surprised and I hope I bought myself some time in the QX. Great product so far. I am the original owner of a 2013 Nissan Murano SL, yes, all the bells and whistles. With 70k miles all highway mileage, vehicle drives like a brand new one. At a recent maintenance, dealer wanted $250 for a CVT fluid flush/exchange. What? My transmission fluid is supposed to be lifetime. I refused of course and it turned out I was so wrong. After some research, I decided to do it myself. Actually it is simpler than doing an oil change if you are doing a drain and refill. Unbolt the drain nut, 4 quarts of Nissan original CVT fluid out. Yes, you better measure IT. Fill 4 quarts with Castrol CVT fluid, NS3 certified. There is no marble chemical in that OEM fluid that costs close to $20 a quarts. Why spend that much for the same CVT oil? I couldn't believe my eyes seeing that dark and smelly fluid came out of my transmission after 70k miles. The smell of carbon burned, I'm sure. I wished I'd changed the CVT fluid every 30k miles. Castrol CVT fluid is clearly red. Look at the photos. Been using this fluid on my Honda HCF2 Spec D CVT transmission. Have over 349,000 miles and I started using this fluid at around 150,000 miles. Yeah, it's a red dye but it's only a dye. This fluid is tough to beat for the value and performance at the price. I can say that this is my go-to fluid if you have a Honda CVT transmission that specifically calls for HCF2 spec. Just what I was needing for my '98 Toyota 4Runner. I had run out and needed more at a good price. Ordered this pack of 6 to meet me Dex3 needs. I use this in my '06 Suzuki Grand Vitara on my Toyota. Good all-around oil. Even works in my power steering. Click link in description for more reviews and best price.